I'm Tara Palmer. I did my career profile over an assistant program director at VOW Family Champions, which is an organization located in Texas. And I interviewed a man named Ken White, who is the assistant program director. The working environment of VOW is it's a smaller organization, but it's attached to a larger organization, which is the Wellness Point Community Health Center. And it was originally government funded, but once the government funding was gone, VOW was able to start charging for their services, and so now they're able to run on their own without the government funding. The work hours of the job are pretty consistent, pretty typical as well. It's 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, but some specific tasks, which we'll get to later, do require that you work on Saturday. And because of the high status of this job, it does mean more personal independence than just a regular employee would have at this organization. And it is a family-friendly organization, or at least this job is pretty family-friendly because of its consistent work hours and lack of traveling and other things that some jobs come with. Also, the organization's services are mainly for educational purposes, and although there are counseling sessions that are offered, they are also more geared towards educational than they are counseling, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain. But the typical stressors of the job are just meeting with individual family members. The counseling can be emotionally draining, just like any counseling job. Some couples are also harder to work with depending on their circumstances and the circumstances that actually brought them into VOW. And sticking to the curriculum and just being careful not to say the wrong things can always be a challenge, specifically in counseling. Some of the typical benefits, the job actually has really good benefits because the organization is attached to the Wellness Point Community Health Center. The jobs come with health, dental, vision, and even life insurances. And what makes it even more great is that any of the employees of VOW, or anyone who is insured under the employees of VOW, gets 50% off of all of their healthcare costs if they go to the Wellness Point Community Health Center. So that's kind of a big deal for health insurance. Also, other benefits are just, 2 weeks vacation, paid sick days, paid holidays, pretty typical stuff for any job. Some of the job tasks are teaching educational workshops, and you can either do this in the school districts throughout the week or sometimes to the public on Saturdays, and that's when you would be required to work those Saturdays. Also compiling the numbers of clients and so forth into a report, which would then be sent off to the government. Working with individual couples, using Prepare and Enrich to counsel and educate those couples, and sometimes preparing and making plans for couples. Something else that the assistant program director does at times, if there isn't a lot of work needed in the office, then he is needed to go out and market the VOW organization to help bring in new couples and clients. So the educational requirements are just a bachelor's degree in any social service field, or the equivalent of that in experience, of a bachelor's degree in experience. Ken's degree is specifically in marriage, family, and human development, but he says that they have people working there with various degrees, and so there isn't really one way that he would recommend to better prepare you for a job with this specific organization or organizations like it. A starting salary range, you start out as either a marriage coordinator or a school coordinator, and those two jobs would be $32,000 to $35,000 a year. And if you stay a marriage coordinator, once you get experience, then that can be $38,000 to $40,000 a year. But if you do get promoted or apply for the job of the assistant program director like Kim, then you're looking at more $45,000 to $50,000 a year. And then just some miscellaneous career information. There are organizations like this all over the country, but the job, because it is counseling, it's not for everybody, is what Ken said. And he also said that workshops are usually a lot easier than actual counseling because you're not actually diving into the personal lives of individual clients and couples. And so I guess just kind of figure out if you're more into doing workshops and being a little less intimate, or if you want to do counseling and be a little more intimate. And something that I just found interesting was that Texas actually upped the marriage licensing fee, by $60 for everyone. But if a couple were to receive marriage education from organizations such as this prior to their marriage, then the state of Texas would actually completely waive the licensing fee, which I thought was really awesome, and definitely encourages people to go out and actually seek for marriage education, which has proven to help. And most of my information I got from the interview, but I also did get some from the VOW website, which is www.wevownow.org. And that's it.